Hi there, Carson Heady. Hope you're doing well. I get asked from time to time about how to become a thought leader or influencer in whatever space you're in. Could be industry, could be your business, um, any number of things. I've been very fortunate in my career in the sales capacity and also in different industries that I've been a part of. It's all about people. I think it's funny that a long time ago, I ran a division, an organization, and had 220 people that worked for me. We had our talons in a lot of different things, but I thought that I knew a lot back then. I thought I was connected then, and I was very wrong. Years later, I have 300 plus thousand connections on social media and followers, and have conversations every day with people all around the world. And so it's amazing to realize that over time, what can be created. And I'm personally just starting to really get a grasp on what's possible, what it means to even be an influencer. I never would have considered myself one a few years back. I'm absolutely starting to figure out how to contribute and how to learn more. First off, it's all about people. Sharing perspective, learning, and listening. Let's be real. I don't think there's a lot of learning and listening going on in certain circles of social media these days. And unfortunately, we're not able to do as much face to face over the last several months as we've been able to do in years past. So there's a lot of digesting opinions that are being thrown at us and then reacting rather than thoughtful contemplation, consideration, and real true communication, understanding, meeting people where they are. It's also about creation of content. Anybody can go out and reshare, repurpose articles. I've been guilty of that. When I've had really busy times, I've repurposed or reissued other articles and even third-party articles. But somebody reminded me not long ago, social media is about being social. So create content and don't be afraid to put things out there. I put things out there before, videos, articles that were complete duds. No hits. And then I've done other things that got tens of hundreds of thousands of engagements. So, I think the key is just try the different mediums that are out there. It's kind of like prospecting. Don't just do one thing. Be willing to, maybe it's blogging and video and other mediums and different platforms. There's obviously a litany of different platforms that you can get engaged in. So learn how to engage in all of them, and that's all part of building brand, because that's where people are. You've got to figure out where people are that you want to be engaging with. And I encourage you to look for different perspective. You're not going to grow or learn anything unless you find people that have different opinions, different perspective, different experience than you do. And only then can you truly become a thought leader, because you have gathered up all of the different perspectives and opinions that are out there. And you've done that by listening. It's also about communication. Not everything you do or create is going to blow up, as we've talked about. But if you can parlay your unique talents, because we all have them, I have very few, but I do have some, and I know what they are. If you understand what you're good at and what you're passionate about, and you can infuse that into what you do, it's going to give you a leg up, and it's going to fuel your passion for time to come, because some of this is about perseverance. I was talking earlier about some of the building brand. I formed some of these social accounts that now have hundreds of thousands of followers 10 years ago. And it's taken a long time and a lot of tweaking and a lot of different types of learning to figure out, what works, what doesn't, what engages, what doesn't. And I'm still learning to this day. And I think that's why it's critical to be a sponge, but to be able to pivot, adapt, and evolve through all that time. But it's all about communication. If somebody makes a comment, even if it's something that you disagree with on your post, engage in some conversation, ask more, ask questions. I think that's one thing we got to get away from, is the immediate reaction where we disagree. Maybe that could help some of our political climate as well. But the immediate reaction where we disagree, ask, understand where they're coming from. Maybe there's a particular reason that they feel the way that they do because of an experience that they had, and they can shed some light on that. That's how we're going to come together. That's how we're going to understand. But that's how you become a thought leader and an influencer, because you are being accepting of other perspectives and feedback, but you're also you have a more well-rounded perspective because you understand where other people are coming from, and that's so critical. If you connect with people that are doing what you want to be doing, I used to think of myself like I was a billboard. If I wanted to build a sales platform and be thought of as a sales thought leader, I followed people, people that I respected in the sales community. I followed them. I followed people that were following them. And so I thought of myself like putting a billboard for myself. I need to be where the people that I want seeing me are, and they're following this person. So I'm going to follow them. I'm going to engage with them. Try to start conversation with them. And there's ways to do that, and that's how conversations began. I love hearing from people in the sales community all over the world, and that's been one of the biggest blessings of a book that I wrote 10 years ago, is it started that journey. I haven't sold enough copies to retire. It was never about that. It was more about just adding value and contributing a perspective to the sales community. That's evolved a lot over time. So a part of that is making sure that you are connecting with other people that are doing what you want to be doing, or that are your target audience, but also some that think differently and really trying to understand why they have the perspective that they do. That's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to gain perspective. But then think about it again. It's all about making sure that you're on the different mediums that exist. You can't be afraid to connect. You can't be afraid to create, and you can't be afraid to communicate. So 3 C's of being a thought leader, being an influencer. You got to try a lot of different things. Not everything's going to work. It's all about law of averages and probability. So understanding the things that people were receptive and respond to, and continuing to put out content across the different mediums that exist. Remember, keep at it, try everything, and build your brand over time. So I want you to think about today, and I'd love if you'd share with me, what are you doing to build a brand of thought leadership? Thanks for watching.